Good evening, my dear friends. Welcome to the Pat and Jeff Show. I'm Pat, and this is Jeff. Jeff, how are you over in the Pacific Northwest?
Patrick, I am doing well, and everything is fine here, except typically it's raining and blustery. So otherwise, we're all good.
We've got summer weather here in February in Houston, Texas. It is delightful here at the Tulip Blooms World Headquarters. Just a reminder to everybody watching right now, we still have buy one, get one half off on the amazing Castor Blend at tulipblooms.shop. Promo code Shapiro for an extra 10% off. Get it while it's hot. I think we'll end that Monday at midnight. So take care of it while you can. Stock up while you can. Castor Blend is buy one, get one half off. Jeff, I've been wanting to talk about today's topic in depth for a long time. I'm really glad to have you as a sounding board to talk about it. It's called The Final Experiment, and it was an attempt by Pastor Will Duffy to demonstrate once and for all that the world is a globe. We'll just leave it at that. And I want to make it really clear at the beginning of this presentation show that I am not here to convince a soul about the shape of the earth. I am a flat earther, for those of you who don't know it. I am a proud flat earther. And I will also say that, and this is a standing challenge, I will debate any human being or artificial intelligence in public, live, in the world. You find your debater, I will debate you, period. And I will do no prep beforehand. That is an ongoing challenge to the entire world. If you think you can debate me on the topic of flat earth, please, we'll keep it civil. The only tactic in the debate that I have not figured out how to beat is somebody just shouting at me nonstop, which is what Michael Toon did. If you check that out on my YouTube channel, not my YouTube channel, my Rumble channel, you will see he did figure out how to just kind of baffle me by never letting me finish the sentence. You do that, it's not going to go well for me. That tactic works. I just become frustrated and tell you to go fuck yourself. But if you keep it civil, I will win that debate. I just wanted to put that out there in case anybody was wondering. However, the topic today has nothing to do with whether or not the earth is a globe or the earth is not a globe. The topic is, how the hell does our world work, regardless of its shape? I mean, the people in it, I mean, the opinions, I mean, the content creators, the people who drive opinion in this world. How does that system work? Because I believe that what we call the final experiment, this so-called trip to Antarctica with flat earthers and globe earthers all getting together and going to Antarctica, I think it was Union Glacier, and seeing if they could observe a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. I want to know, how does it work? There are a few things I'm pretty confident I can show, and I'm going to talk about that today. But I want to talk about what it means and why it's important. So, Jeff, you're familiar, of course, with the precession of the equinoxes and how there's a wobble in the Earth's axis and how globe Earth explains the seasons. So I want to pull up a quick video. It's called Earth's Axis, Meaning of Earth's Axis. This is a 3-minute video. And this is, when I say Earth's axis, I'm referring to the globe model. So we're going to talk about the globe model and how it is used to explain phenomena that we witness, that we can observe. So here we have this thing. So just bear with me. There's about 1.5 to 2 minutes that you're going to have to watch, and we will circle back.
These are the 2 points where an axis meets the planet surface. Hello friend, welcome to Top Brain GK. An axis is an invisible line
I apologize for the fresh off the boat accent. She does a good job, so we'll just kind of get through it.
Around which an object rotates or spin. In this picture, Earth's axis is represented by the red line. Earth's axis is not perpendicular. It has an axial tilt.
All right, so she says Earth's axis is not perpendicular. It has an axial tilt. So what does that mean? Well, that means that, now remember, the Earth in the heliocentric model, the year is represented by a trip around the sun in an ellipse. And when it's on one side of that ellipse, the tilt is in one direction. And when it's on the other side of the ellipse, the tilt is in the other direction. And that is what accounts for the seasons. That's why the southern hemisphere gets a summer during our winter, and we get a winter during their summer, and vice versa. So just bear that in mind. This is foundational to what we're talking about.
Hey, Patrick, real quick before you do that. I was in 6th grade. I'll never forget this. My teacher was this great guy. He was really good. And we were going around a room. There must have been 25 kids in the room, 30 kids. And he's asking, how do you explain winter and summer? And we go around and he's asking, why do we have a winter when we have it? And why does the southern hemisphere have the summer? Mm-hmm. And everybody's coming up with all these stupid answers and they're trying to figure it out, right? Mm-hmm. And then after probably an exhausting, I can't remember, obviously, it was probably, I don't know, 58 years ago. I'll never forget this. He goes, I'm going to have to tell you the answer. It's because the Earth is on an axis. It tilts 23 plus degrees, whatever the measurement is.
23.4 degrees. Or, if you want to go with the right angle complement of that, it would be 66.6 degrees. No particular reason. Anyway.
Well, that's my point. Yeah. So he goes, now with that tilt, that explains with the positioning of the sun, we're closer to the sun in the summer and further away in the winter. And that's why it's colder. And interestingly enough, of course, being a bright-eyed sixth grader, I was like, all right, that makes sense. Okay, good. And we just went on. Nobody explained why it's tilted. Nobody explained how it's tilted. Nobody explained when did it happen? Was it always like that? So anyway, keep going. But I just wanted to add that, we all just bright-eyed and really all excited about, okay, makes sense. Good explanation. Let's move on.
But remember, the purpose of this discussion is in no way to argue for or against this model. The purpose is to make sure everybody understands why what they're trying to do in Antarctica is what it is. All right, I'm going to play the rest of this video. And just the accent is even thicker than my parody accent. So here we go.
Earth's axial tilt is about 23.5 degree.
23.4.
Due to this tilt, the sun shines on different places at different angles throughout the year. Earth's axis is an imaginary pole going right through the center of Earth from top to bottom. Earth spins around this pole, making one complete rotation each day. That's why we have day and night. As Earth orbits the sun.
All right, I'm going to quiet her down. As Earth orbits the sun, okay, notice that on different sides of this ellipse, they're not, all right, this is not proper, but the point is that this axis should be changing in orientation, but it's, all right. Anyway, I'm pausing it here. So this is perfect. Here we are. All right. Now this diagram shows the Earth at different orientations about the sun at different times of year. This is it. This is the important thing. Okay. Notice in summer or whatever, at this time of year, I hope you can see where I'm pointing. The southern hemisphere Antarctica gets 24-hour daylight. Why? Because that part of the Earth where the South Pole is coming out is tilted towards the sun. So that portion of this sphere gets 24-hour exposure to the sun. On the other side, it's the North Pole that gets that 24-hour exposure to the sun, and the South Pole gets 24 hours of night. Without fully understanding this, none of the rest of this presentation will make any sense whatsoever. Cool?
That makes sense. It definitely
Okay.
makes sense based on what we know.
It
Use a
also,
good diagram because it shows it, because the tilt is the reason why, right? So
Yes.
Mr. Crane was right in 6th grade. The tilt is what causes this phenomenon to take place.
damn right. In the heliocentric model, the tilt is why you get a 24-hour sun at the North Pole at one time of year. And it is, and in my opinion, assumed that you would have to have a 24-hour sun at the South Pole during the opposite time of year. That's key. Now, one thing that we can say for sure is that many, many people observe a 24-hour sun at the North Pole or thereabouts, very close to 90 degrees latitude, 85 degrees latitude, whatever, very close to the North Pole. The 24-hour sun at the appropriate time of year is observed and can be observed by regular peasants like us. However, one thing that we flat earthers have remarked upon is the so-called 24-hour sun in Antarctica has only really been demonstrated to peasants like us by videos by government scientists who show us a video of the 24-hour sun, videos that are shown to be fakes. And that's where I want to get to first. So bear with me. All right. So this is from Taboo Conspiracy 3. That 3 is done by 3 lowercase i's. This is an examination of footage produced from such government sources supposedly showing a 24-hour Antarctic sun. This video came out. When did it come out? Hang on. One moment. All right, this video came out from Taboo Conspiracy 3, February 4th, 2023. The final experiment didn't take place until approximately 2 years later. So what we're about to watch is an observation of a so-called 24-hour Antarctic sun well before Will Duffy's final experiment. And for those of you who don't know yet, I'm going to explain the final experiment in detail, but this is Taboo Conspiracy 3 showing us. This is a 4-minute video. We need to watch every minute of it. So just check this out. Thank you very much.
Please excuse my voice today as I am recovering from a cold. Don't you miss the days when you could have a cold and no one cared? I'm actually missing a family wedding today because of it. Anyways, in my last video, someone who is probably a globe troll left a comment about the alleged 24-hour Antarctic sun and a link to a video supposedly proving its existence. I clicked on the link, but I totally forgot that I debunked this video years ago in my last channel. I guess my memory isn't as good as it used to be. But I'm guessing quite a few of you have also forgotten about it or have never seen it. A big thanks to Flat Earth and Coffee's channel, who recently shared my old video. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, you must, and the link will be in the description. So what you're watching is the alleged proof of the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. It's a 24-hour time lapse appearing to show the sun traveling around in a big circle and staying above the horizon for 24 hours. It looks pretty good. The shadows match well. The lighting seems right. The video seems pretty convincing. And the clouds don't repeat 24 hours later like they did in this video, where the exact same cloud pattern repeats a day later. It's crazy how much effort goes into faking these videos. Remember the saying, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. But maybe George W. Bush said it better.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Anyways, but in this case, the clouds don't repeat 24 hours later. Instead, we're going to be looking at the sun with the same exact sun flares that repeat 24 hours later. I've synced the two segments of the video together. Remember, the bottom video is supposed to be 24 hours later. The clouds are different, and the lighting slightly changes, but the sun flares on the camera are exactly the same. I have freezed a few frames so that you can look closer. I'm convinced these repeating sun flares are impossible, as the slightest variation in angles and atmospheric conditions would alter the sun flares. But I could still see someone plausibly claiming that the repetition of the same sun flares over an approximate 12-hour period is purely a coincidence. Okay, I highly doubt it, but I can see the very slight possibility. But there is one more thing that repeats, which I refer to as the coup de grace, that proves that this video is indeed a fake. Here's the clip in question. Did you see it? Here it is again. Do you see the lighting artifact flash on and off at the same exact time? Here it is again at a very slow speed. The flashes are exact and at the same video frames. That's impossible. There is no excuse. This video is another fake. There you go, another blatant fakery that took some serious effort to fool you into believing in their globe model. How many times will they be able to fool you? Thanks for watching.
All right. Once again, a huge hat tip to Taboo Conspiracy 3. That was from almost 3 years ago. And so we have multiple different videos shown to be caught red-handed faking the 24-hour Antarctic sun. And so the final experiment is Pastor Will Duffy plus this dude McToon and Jaron Campanella, famous flat earther of Jaronism, the YouTube channel, and Austin Whitsitt. The idea is we're going to go to Antarctica together. We're taking real, live, living flat earthers with us, and we're going to have them observe the 24-hour sun in Antarctica. And that is why they call it the final experiment, because they're going to prove once and for all that there is a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, and it won't be deniable because trustworthy figures like Jaron Campanella and Austin Whitsitt will testify to it and watch it with their own eyes, and we flat earthers will trust them because they're good flat earthers. How am I doing so far in making this understandable?
I think it's good. So far, so good. The only thing I want to understand a little bit better in that previous video, so that gentleman saying it was obviously Photoshop. Then, and was the top, was that 24 hours later or 12 hours later? The top and bottom?
24 hours later.
Okay. So
Well, it
24
wasn't,
hours.
yeah, I wish that he had said 24 hours later.
Yeah, because he doesn't really tell you the exact time frame. So
The thing that's important is that there is a rapidly advancing clock timestamp on the bottom indicating rapid progression of time-lapse video.
Mhm.
And at different timestamps, identical video artifacts are observed on the sun. That's not possible. That guarantees manipulation. The details at that point become irrelevant. In my opinion, the video was messed with for the purposes of deception. Does that make sense?
oh, it clearly does. Yes,
Good.
for
Okay.
sure. All good.
What I really want to address now is the concept of the affirming the consequent fallacy, which is everything here. If the heliocentric model is true, you will observe a 24-hour sun in the North Pole at one time of year and a 24-hour sun at the South Pole at the other time of year.
Hey, Patrick, hold.
Yeah.
For how long is that 24-hour sun, according to the model, say in the North Pole in the summer?
I don't know.
How many
It's,
days? How many
well,
weeks?
it's a
How many
short
months?
period of time. I think it's like a couple of weeks. It's not long.
Okay, got it.
I could ask ChatGPT, but it's a short period of time. It's when they're at the absolute apex of that ellipse. And so once they circle back around and I at the risk of reifying this model, by the way, but in the model, the reason it's happening is because the tilt is just right and Antarctica is tilted all the way towards the sun, which means that it gets 24-hour exposure. And then at the other side, it's the North Pole tilted all the way towards the sun and it gets 24 hours of exposure. And that happens every day for a couple of weeks. And then those conditions no longer hold in the heliocentric model. I am open to be corrected on that, by the way. I don't think I've got it wrong, though. It's not a particularly complicated concept. However, the concept of affirming the consequent is sometimes lost on people. If heliocentric model true, 24-hour sun in Antarctica does not imply 24-hour sun in Antarctica means the heliocentric model is true. That is called the affirming the consequent formal logical fallacy. If A, then B. B, therefore A. If I eat 10 cheeseburgers, I will have a bellyache. I have a bellyache. Therefore, I ate 10 cheeseburgers. Okay, as long as we're fully on board with that being fallacious, when Will Duffy and his crew go to Antarctica, even if they do observe a 24-hour sun, it does not prove that we are living on a globe. It proves that there is a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. So I don't understand why flat earthers would even go to this thing, considering the fact that there is no upside. You go there, you observe a 24-hour sun, it shows nothing, but you look like a dipshit. But if you go and what do you expect to happen? However, I really want to be clear here. I'm going to show you what they did, and then we're going to talk about the concept of controlled opposition. So here are the characters involved. We have Pastor Will Duffy. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you his video explaining the final experiment. It should be short, and then we'll actually show you the videos of them going there.
Just so you know, I don't know who Will Duffy is. I don't know if
we're back on. You go ahead, ask your question about Will Duffy.
Yeah, I don't. He is. So maybe you could tell me who he is.
He is a Christian pastor of some sort. I can't really speak too much to his biography, to tell you the truth. So maybe we could get into that at some other time. This is the Final Experiment documentary official trailer, 2 minutes and 13 seconds. So that's certainly not long. Let's enjoy. And I'm sorry, I haven't ever watched this. I assume that it's going to be kind of condescending. We just have to get used to it as flat earthers.
Hey everyone, we are live from Antarctica.
It's never been done before. I can't find any evidence of any flat earther going to Antarctica. You certainly can't find any evidence of a group of flat and globe earthers going together to try and prove each other wrong.
I was alerted that our flight was the #1 tracked flight yesterday.
They were 400 miles in.
Whoa.
So this was part of the final experiment.
I was shocked that it's the 21st century and people are still debating the shape of the Earth. I didn't know what I was going to do yet. I just needed to find it. Just a perfect final experiment. I had heard so many videos from flat earthers stating that Antarctica does hold the key to the truth.
I'm here to do the science, to partner with people that want to partner.
I think people will look back on of us going as something that is special.
I just heard about it. I thought this was something that I wanted to participate in. I mean, it just excited me, the whole idea.
He maintained that it is to move the discussion forward.
What I ended up learning throughout this journey was something that I would have never seen coming.
Big up to God, because he has a funny way. He has a funny way of humbling people.
This is not what we agreed to. You guys are changing the rules. If that's what you guys want your legacy to be, that's fine.
We can't just have a discussion about maybe just staying here. I mean, I'm not even sure that any of us would object to it.
I'll be there. It's too important to me.
All right. So, hey, for real, I guess you get to see the kind of stuff I watch when I'm when I'm not here. Yes, I am a basic bitch. Okay, so the nice production values, cool as hell, and heck, very, very interesting. Now I want to talk about Dave Weiss. Dave Weiss is also known as Flat Earth Dave, and Flat Earth Dave said the same stuff I just said. But I've been on Flat Earth Dave's. I've had Flat Earth Dave on my show more than once, and we are friendly. And before the final experiment, of course, Flat Earth Dave, one of the most famous flat earthers in the world, was offered a seat on that plane. And this is as the story is told. I'm not saying I know any of this firsthand because I'm just a peasant. But he refused to go. And his reasoning was extremely valid, in my opinion. He said, that's what he said. He said, if there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, it doesn't prove the Earth's a globe. If you want to find out the shape of the Earth, you measure the ground, not the sky. But he also felt like there was a strong possibility they were going to try to fake a 24-hour sun to the flat earthers. Do you have any questions at this point, Jeff? Because I want to make sure everybody's on the same page. And once again, whether you are a flat earther or a globe earther is irrelevant to what I'm trying to get across here.
How would they fake 24-hour sun while you're there is my question. Do you know how? I mean, I'm just wondering.
I'll tell you, I don't think they can.
Yeah, I didn't think so either. Yeah,
but they can. But they can if the flat earthers are in on it.
Of course, makes sense. Controlled opposition. Controlled opposition, right?
Yeah, and that's why. That's why this is so upsetting because Austin Whitsitt was just like this regular dude in his living room. Jaron Campanella, total scumbag. I've always known that he was full of shit. Jaron Campanella has the YouTube channel Jaronism, and he is a flat earther who had his logo be a globe, and he became a famous flat earther back in 2015. His YouTube channel has 250,000 followers, and he's the guy that you'll find in the Netflix Flat Earthers documentaries where flat earthers are being made fun of. He's the dipshit who accidentally proves the earth is a globe during his own gay little experiment, and he does it live on camera and goes, oh no. Now, the definition of controlled opposition. So that's where I'm going to hop to next. Jaron Campanella reacting to what he sees when he gets to Antarctica and observes a 24-hour sun. All right, so this is Jaron Campanella. If you look at the logo up at on the top right, it's TYT, the Young Turks, famous left-wing commentators. And then the caption says, surprise, flat earthers' worldview dissolves in real time. Let us observe. Here we go.
Sometimes you are wrong in life. And I thought that there was no 24-hour sun. In fact, I was pretty sure of it. But I respect Will Duffy for being a stand-up guy, at least in the way that he kept saying it was true. I kept saying it wasn't. He said, you want to go? I'll take you. And brought me here, and it's a fact. The sun does circle you in the south. It seems like the moon does circle here as well. So you start thinking about that as well. It doesn't mean that AE map is over, flat earth is over. Maybe somebody's got the answer. I don't have that answer.
Okay. I think that covers it. That's Jaron saying, you got to trust Will Duffy. And obviously you trust me. It's a fact. Doesn't mean the earth's not flat. And yet the question remains, what did we witness when they went to Antarctica? Let's keep going.
When was that guy? When was that video? That guy saying that he was wrong.
It was mid to late December 2024.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, it's freaking crazy because I don't think I need to get into too much detail about Jaron, but we'll put it this way. When his audience starts asking him questions about the footage, he has a monumental crash out and disavows flat earth and calls flat earthers psychopaths and just acts like a general fucking demented little freak. And now this guy has been one of the biggest, he's probably the biggest flat earth content creator in the world, if you go by YouTube channel size. He had 250,000 subscribers more or less immediately. And that's a dead giveaway. So I want to see if I can show you some of the stuff, some of the stuff that actually happened. And I'm going to go ahead and just pull up Eric Dubé's channel. And let's just see what we can see. I'm going to get Eric Dubé, The Final Experiment. And we're going to watch a couple of these. And I want your commentary on this. So 1 year ago, Eric Dubé made a video called The Final Experiment. Sorry, one sec. All right, why did Eric do Final Experiment Fakery, The Final Straw Man Experiment? I want to get the first one and then the second one. I think it's this one.
From over there.
All right. So we're going to watch we're going to watch Eric Dubé's critique. Now, this video is lengthy. It's 8 minutes and 48 seconds. In my opinion, it is the best. It's the best critique for brevity without getting too deeply into the weeds. It doesn't mean that there aren't weeds to get into. It doesn't mean that there aren't details to follow up on. I just want to make sure that everybody gets on the same page to know the issues being discussed here. And I will reiterate, regardless of whether you are a flat earther or a globe earther, the open question of, did these guys actually demonstrate a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, is an open question. The question is, did they fake it? Okay? Very important to note. There could still be a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, and these guys could be full of shit and making it all up and using video fakery to do it. Watch this video and tell me what you think.
As footage continues releasing and astute internet sleuths continue analyzing anomalies and inconsistencies, it's becoming increasingly clear that the so-called Final Experiment's 24-hour Antarctic sun was just another faked event recorded on a film set. Unbeknownst to most, for the past few years, portable, panoramic, 360-degree LED studio setups now exist and are being used for Hollywood productions like The Mandalorian and many others. Amazon Volume, or Amazon Studio 15, for example, are state-of-the-art studios which take the standard of green or blue screen technology and completely blow it out of the water. With new 360-degree panoramic LED screen studios, the entire background and ceiling or sky are digitally created in Unreal Engine, then projected live in up to 16K resolution, so the actors on set can see, react, and interact with everything in real time.
All right, so I personally would not approach it this way when trying to persuade anybody of my point of view that this was faked. I don't need to explain how they did the magic trick, but Eric Dubé chooses to show you about this Unreal Engine stuff. Now let's actually move over to stuff in the video.
Keeping all this in mind, let's review some footage from the Final Experiment. To begin with, watch the supposed sun circling around during their 24-hour time-lapse video, and pay close attention to its shape. Notice how the sun changes from circular to being smushed down horizontally, back to perfectly circular, then smushed across vertically, and then back again. This is not how the sun usually looks or behaves in person, or in genuine footage of the phenomenon from the Arctic. Now, pay attention to...
All right, so just bear that in mind. That smushing of sun and elongating of sun would be consistent with a minor irregularity in a screen that is a physical screen with this Unreal Engine being projected onto it. So one way to fake it would be just to use the real sun and then just splice it together, which is what you got in that video that I showed you from Taboo Conspiracy 3, with the exact same lens flaring and video artifacts around the sun. But that is the sun. They are recording the actual sun. But it's fake because you can see it's identical. You can't fake a fingerprint like that. But in this case, they're not, the idea would be, okay, they're not going to use the real actual sun. They're going to use a video of what looks like a sun projected into an environment where the dudes can walk around in real time and do live streams. Okay, so just think about that. One of the ways that I think normal people would ask for, verification of this being real, they would say, all right, so these other 24-hour suns were faked. Well, they were only faked because the people had the ability to record and then doctor the recording and then play it afterwards. So we want you guys to live stream it. And that way we'll know you're not faking it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Because
Clearly.
they were live streaming this. So Will Duffy can go to the world and say, look, I didn't fake this because we were live streaming it. You can't live stream that and still fake it. So we're looking at live stream footage here. So just bear that in mind. So one anomaly we detect is the sun stretching and squishing. All right, let's continue.
To the changes in length and direction of McToon's shadow as he paces around the base camp. In the space of walking only a matter of feet, his shadow somehow completely changes direction and triples in length. Watch as his shadow stretches, contracts, and sharply changes angles within the space of just a few paces. This is not at all normal behavior of shadows being cast by sunlight, or of a man walking only a few steps.
All right, so, it really isn't. If it's the sun that's causing that shadow to be cast, walking 10 yards should not triple the length of your shadow. But if it is a massive spotlight 20 feet in the air, then your shadow's length is going to change radically as your relative distance from that spotlight increases. Does that make sense?
It definitely makes sense. And I get the proof that it's not real based on the shadows and all that, because that's not a normal shadow from a sun. But what's even more compelling is, why is this guy walking around wearing just a vest when he's in Antarctica? Like, isn't it like freezing cold there? I mean, I don't get it. Like,
let's find out. Let's go ahead and look into that. So I'll ask Dr. Gupta, what is the temp average at Union Glacier in mid-December usually?
Yeah, I mean, that guy's dressed for winter in Southwest Washington State. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like 40 degrees and rainy, kind of, and they just wear vests and, like, what's with the parkers where they cover their faces and they wear, like, what? I don't understand. No wind. No wind.
Check this out, dude. Average daytime high, 14 to 18 degrees Fahrenheit. Average nighttime low, 0 to 8 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the South Pole's summer. On calm, sunny days, it can occasionally climb into the low 20s. During wind events, wind chill can drop perceived temperatures well below 20 degrees below 0 to negative 20.
Right.
It's firmly freezing at all times.
He looks pretty comfortable walking around with almost nothing on. This is kind of weird. Why would they do that?
Following is a simple demonstration,
So this is a
of how
demonstration.
light and shadows work depending.
All right, so you get that idea. And then if we move on. All right, now we're going to get to freaking Witsit Gets It, dude. And this Witsit guy, this little bastard broke my heart. So I'm just going to show you what I'm talking about. I believe that this other guy does a better job. This channel is called
Good evening, everyone.
This channel is called Flat Out Truth. Terry Eicher. And the video itself is 3 minutes and 55 seconds. This is the Flat Out Truth YouTube channel. Let's just watch all 4 minutes of this, or all 5. How long is it? Let's see. It's 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 55 seconds. Let's watch every second of this. This is Austin Witsit. He's showing a live stream of Austin Witsit talking to his supporters from what is supposed to be Union Glacier in Antarctica.
Good evening, everyone. Just wanted to do a really quick video on the final experiment. Aside of all the green screen glitches, the chroma key mistakes, all the stuff that's been pointed out in this whole bullcrap experiment, Mr. Whitsitt himself is the one who actually puts the nail in the coffin to the fakery. Now, here's what I mean. Check it out. When you see someone who is really working in Antarctica in December, this is what their breath looks like. So when Whitsitt is doing his live stream video, someone asked him, why can't I see your breath if you're in Antarctica?
It's so bright. Why isn't your breath foggy? It's not as foggy as it was a second ago. It's kind of foggy right now. But right before I started the stream, I tested it, so I knew you guys were going to say that. My breath was like super foggy earlier, but it's not really foggy right now. I don't know. No humidity? Yeah, of course. I mean, it's super dry here. That's why my lips are super chapped. It's not even windy. My lips are super chapped. Just pick up some snow? Okay. I'm not wearing gloves, so that's a terrible suggestion. I'll be right back and grab some gloves and I'll pick up some snow. Okay. I'm gonna play her song again while I go in here so no one else maybe says something they don't want on stream on my headphones. I'm gonna go grab my gloves. This is a good idea anyway.
Just real briefly, I want to read something to you from ChatGPT. I ask, would low humidity cause my breath to be invisible in Antarctica at Union Glacier in mid-December? To which ChatGPT responds, good question. Short answer, no, your breath would still be very visible at Union Glacier in mid-December. Here's why. What makes breath visible? Your breath becomes visible when warm, moist air leaves your lungs. Approximately 98 degrees Fahrenheit, nearly 100% humidity. That's the breath. Your breath is really humid. It hits much colder air. The water vapor condenses or deposits as tiny droplets or ice crystals. Those droplets scatter light and you see breath fog. It's not primarily about ambient humidity. It's about temperature differential. Union Glacier conditions, mid-December, air temperature 0 to 18 degrees Fahrenheit, very low absolute humidity, extremely cold surface air. Cold air cannot hold much water vapor at all. So when your saturated breath hits that air, it exceeds saturation instantly. Water vapor condenses immediately. Often it deposits as tiny ice crystals. That makes breath very visible, often more so than in humid, cold climates. Dry air actually helps visibility in very cold conditions because the ambient air has low vapor content. Your exhaled air dramatically exceeds the local dew and frost point. Supersaturation happens instantly. The result is a dense white plume. So just bear that in mind. Let us continue.
Okay, so he turns the camera off because he's worried about what somebody's going to say on the live stream, supposedly while he's gone to get his gloves. Now, let's look at the footage where he goes to get his gloves before he comes back and turns the camera on. Okay, let me hit play. There's Whitsitt right here coming out of the shed. Now, he walks back over. Now, his camera's right on top of this funny-looking thing here with the blue thing, and then his laptop's there with the camera on it. So let's zoom in. Now, notice before he turns the camera on, he squats down and hitting the vape. You can see the little smoke coming out of the vape. He then reaches up, turns the camera back on, and blows out his vape. Check it out.
There's a little breath. What's up now?
up now? What's up now?
Now, when a liar is being a liar, they're very sarcastic about it. That's why he says, "What's up now?"
What's up now?
Now, notice you can only see his breath on that one exhale. That's because it was a vape. Look, there's nothing coming out of his mouth because all the vape's gone out.
You have to take like deeper breath.
God have mercy upon us.
Oh God.
Okay.
So great. The guy is just, I get the breath and all that. Guy's way too comfortable wearing almost nothing, no gloves, nothing on his, and he's very comfortable at 10 degrees. I don't buy it. I'm sorry, I don't buy it.
Yeah, it's
Down a line.
it's
Going
very
along the
enraging.
Yeah, a lot of fakery. There's no doubt. No doubt a lot of fakery.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to go back to Dubay, right quick. Because I really prefer that flat out truths guys treatment of I call it the what's up now gate. Make sure I've got the right thing. Damn it. I've got the same video 10 times. There we go. All right.
Anytime close-up footage of their feet was shown, their footprints always failed to make any impression in the snow. Here, he moves his left foot, and there is no impression, footprint, or displaced snow. Another thing apparent while watching the footage was the complete lack of wind or any precipitation whatsoever. Throughout the live stream footage, I don't recall a single instance of any wind or even a light breeze strong enough to affect their hair or microphones. Even on a calm, sunny day, if they were really outside and not in a studio, we should see or hear the effect of wind on their bodies or microphones, but it was mysteriously absent the entire time. Jaron, Whitsitt, and others involved also made comments several times about how the mountains in the distance seemed so close that you could touch them, but that they were actually several miles away. The mountains do seem strangely closer than they should appear, and if you pay attention to where the background and foreground meet in footage from the final experiment, particularly the 24-hour sun time-lapse, it seems we are seeing where the digital backdrop ends and the studio floor begins. There is a separation line indicative of a film set apparent in much of the footage and made clear through the use of video editing technology. By adjusting the contrast, it becomes clear where studio reality meets digital fakery. In the 24-hour time-lapse sun footage, the mountains and sky are both chroma keyed out, showing they are both part of the studio backdrop. Compare this to other footage taken at Union Glacier. When chroma key is applied, only the sky disappears, leaving the real mountains untouched. This makes the case that the final experiment is potentially a mixture of doctored studio footage to fake the 24-hour sun and other authentic footage actually taken from Union Glacier, Antarctica. The founder of this final experiment, Pastor Will Duffy, has also had a recent clip surface from a sermon of his that gives some real insight into the mind of the man behind this production.
Okay. We finally get to my conclusion on the matter of lying and deception, and that is this. After carefully looking at both sides of the debate, and after taking a very deep dive into everything I could possibly find in Scripture regarding lying and deception, I have come to the conclusion that neither lying nor deception are inherently immoral.
That was Will Duffy being surprisingly strident about how it's okay to lie according to the Bible. Jeff, what do you think?
I'm totally in belief that this is fake. It looks fake. The guy's controlled opposition. I don't know how anybody could say that it is not, that it's okay to lie and be deceitful. I don't get that. Is that a Smith-Monk act of whatever? You know what I mean? Like, is this guy applying that? I don't know. I mean, so it's okay to lie to all of us, right? See, Patrick, there's a thing here that people have to understand. Some people might say, well, what difference does it make? Does that sound familiar? Remember when Hillary Clinton said about Benghazi? Well, what difference does it make now? Well, it makes a big difference because historically, we need to know that our history is correct for context about who we are and what we are. And whether it's a flat earth, a round earth, or toroidal earth, I don't know, but it makes it important. It's important to us to know the truth because it means something to us. It also proves that they lie to us about so many other things. So when somebody says it doesn't really matter if it's flat earth or round earth, it does matter. Yeah. Because we need to know the truth about our lives, about us, about where we come from. And I get so frustrated when people say it really doesn't matter. No, it does. And let's get to the truth of everything because we've been lied to for so long. Frustrates me. That's why I get frustrated by this.
I agree with you. It matters enormously whether the earth is flat or whether it's round. And I'll reiterate, whether the earth is flat or round is not important to this discussion, which is, are these people engaged in a really elaborate deception? By the way, I haven't even scratched the surface on all the things about this footage that are fake. So we have Austin Whitsitt obviously hitting a vape pen to fake visible breath. We have the snow under their feet unchanged by them walking on it. No footprints left in the snow. Okay, fine. It's so freaking cold. All right. It's so cold that the snow is actually just rock hard and undisturbable. I don't believe that, but whatever. The sun squishing and then the sun elongating. The obvious chroma key, which is also known as green screen, when you, or you know, in this case, studio lighting. It's really bad. Now, I want to know why they would fake something like this. I want to know how the world works that they have an incentive to do something this elaborate. They don't have to go to Antarctica to do this, but the studio setup that they would have been using to fake this would have been incredibly expensive to rent. I don't think that those YouTube videos would have paid for it. This would have been a loss, a money loser. But we've shown enough here, I think you will agree, that we're kind of done thinking they actually were showing us footage from Antarctica. The frickin' shadow on McToon ends this discussion as far as I'm concerned. Now, there is another aspect to this, Jeff, that I want to talk about, and it's uncomfortable for me because I do like Flat Earth Dave. I think he's a great guy. Right after this thing happened, however, Flat Earth Dave suddenly started defending Jaron and Austin with the ferocity of a Harvard defense attorney. He had never done that before. He had never acted like this before. When it was pointed out that they had their green screens turned on, which they had their green screen settings turned on, which meant that anything green on them would be transparent. The Whitsitt vape pen stuff, which is just absolutely damning. He didn't even, he just dismissed it out of hand. The shadow, he didn't just dismiss it. He said anybody who says that that shadow indicates that they're not really there is just a shill and an idiot. All of these things that Flat Earth Dave is famous for, let's examine this critically, et cetera, et cetera. Suddenly, Flat Earth Dave was no longer interested in any of that. He just became the advocate for Jaron and Austin. And then he has since reversed himself. And by the way, all of those videos of Flat Earth Dave aggressively defending Whitsitt and Jaron, I can't track them down. I can't find them. There's a gap in his YouTube videos. They have been removed. Now, there are explanations for this. He might feel embarrassed that he defended those guys. Maybe. But his behavior was incongruous with what I knew him to be famous for, which was, let's examine this. You know, let's look at the video footage. Let's not immediately jump to, no, you can't question this. You're an idiot if you question this. Don't make us look bad. That's the new standard he took for a brief period of time during the final experiment, bearing in mind that Flat Earth Dave still said, it doesn't matter if there's a 24-hour sun in Antarctica because of the affirming consequent fallacy, because there are other explanations. But the only explanation that he would not tolerate were Jaron and Whitsitt are lying to you, which, by the way, it's now, in my opinion, very clear. That's what they were doing. They were just lying to everyone. If Whitsitt felt that he had to duck out of camera view and hit a vape pen a bunch of times right in front of us, I guess he didn't realize there were other cameras on him, and then hop onto the camera and say, there's a little breath, what's up now? The fact that he felt he needed to deceive everybody that way is consciousness of guilt. If you're actually at Union Glacier and you're not blowing out visible breath, you're like, well, I don't know what to tell you. This is what you'd say. You'd say, look, I don't know what to tell you. My breath isn't visible right now. Go talk to a meteorologist as to why that would be the case. I don't know, but here I am. Another example was they said, well, show us the snow. He said, I don't want to show you the snow. It'll make my hands too cold. Oh, I'll put on gloves. And then he went and put on gloves and then walked 30 paces away from the camera to go get snow. If snow's all the way around him, he could just reach down to the ground and get it. I regard it as dispensed with that this was a fraud. The exact way that they faked it, it's not my concern. It was definitely faked. I don't know if they used Unreal Engine. I don't know what they used. I just know that they were caught. And I also know that the really great Flat Earth Dave defended them like his career depended on it before he finally cut them loose. And by the way, well, yeah.
Can I just address something about that? There's another person that you and I both know that did a similar thing. And that's this guy, Ewar. Remember Ewar?
Oh, yeah.
So Ewar does these documentaries about, basically the procession of the equinox.
We can't talk about this without introducing who Ewar is.
Right.
Ewar is a movie maker, truther. He talked about Tartaria. He talks about Flat Earth. He's got this British accent and vocal quality that actually makes me recoil. So I find it hard to listen to him. But he was a good truther. And then he and Crow backtracked on Tartaria. So that topic is very near and dear to your heart, Jeff. However, all that Ewar did was just kind of recant some of his Tartaria stuff. He didn't engage in a hoax,
Well, I get it. But my point is, there's something that's making these truthers act the way they act. And I don't know if they're part of the 60,000 man army. I don't know if they're being told, because I believe the good guys are in control. I'm a 100% control guy, been so and I think 100% control has been a long time, not just when Trump came down the escalator, and not even since 2012. I think it's been a lot longer than that. So with that said, they're good guys that are making this all come up, and maybe to spark the controversy. I just don't know. But
maybe, yeah.
There's no explanation where a truther would be so convinced about something and give you a lot of proof and then recant. It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And there's more evidence than that. There's probably more than what we know. We just know these two particular people because they are interesting to us.
But isn't it freaking terrible? It is so strange. We've caught these people, and I want people to just, I'll debate this topic as well. People want to come and defend Will Duffy's final experiment fakery. All right. But that's not the way I would go. I would not defend that crap. That's plainly fake. So they're faking a 24-hour sun again, except this time it's relatively well-known flat earthers engaging it, and one of the other greatest flat earthers defending them like his career depends on it. Dude, Owen Benjamin continues to defend Austin Whitsitt. I am blown away by that. If anybody was the dude who couldn't be compromised, it was Owen Benjamin. Now, maybe he's not compromised. Maybe he's just lacking in discernment on this topic. That's certainly possible. But I think that you need a lot of lack of discernment not to see what he did as plain, conscious deception. Maybe it's not malicious. Maybe he's blackmailed into it. There's 100 different explanations for somebody engaging in deception. Good people can be coerced into engaging in deception. But what he did with that vape pen is definitely conscious deception. Why? I don't know, man. But I sure would love to get to the bottom of it.
Look, your question of why about this particular topic is the reason why we do what we do and why we present so many different topics, and sometimes with pretty good proof and sometimes with no proof at all, no receipts, but just have you think a little bit about what could this be about. In the end, we know we've been lied to. We know none of this makes sense to us. So the point is, why would they lie to us? And why would the 100% control good guys continue the hoaxes? Why? There must be a reason. I believe there is. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just you can't take too many things at one time. The human mind can only handle so much at once. And it's a slow drip, and then it'll eventually, speed up. I just don't know. But Patrick, I'm a believer of, the movies that we watch show us the real truth, right? So I love the Men in Black, the neuralizers, when they say, look here, right. So to me, the whole concept of having to move people along this continuum, to wake them up so that we can ascend and we can do all good things and we can, destroy the people who are trafficking our children and all this craziness. And it's like, we got to move them along and make them feel the right way. I don't agree with that. That's all BS to me. You just use this neuralizer and you can change everybody's point of view. I mean, they've proven to us with MK Ultra, they can make us think that this thing is round and the sun is 93 million miles away from us, right? They've been telling us for years. So my point is this: there's something even far beyond what we need to understand that we don't get yet. And it's because there's a bigger picture here. Something is bigger than we know, and we are bigger than we know. And that's why they have to do this the way they're doing it. My trust is in the white hats. I believe that in my heart. And the only thing I can say is keep exposing, keep having people think. We have to keep doing that. Think what could possibly be real and why. It's a big question why. It's amazing, but we got to keep doing this.
You're right. My goodness. We're not going to be abandoning this topic, by the way. I want to hear from you in the audience, whether you're a globe earther or a flat earther. If you're a globe earther and you're a strong believer that you live on a globe, what you just witnessed should piss you the F off, because, the truth doesn't need to have hoaxes defending it. And that was a hoax. So one of the things I think is that you globe earthers out there might feel compelled to defend the final experiment as being real. I guess that's one way to go. I wouldn't do it. I would much rather, I would rather defend the globe than defend Austin Whitsitt. I'll tell you that right now. But I want to hear from you on this topic. And once again, when it comes to flat Earth versus globe Earth, I reiterate, I will debate anybody in the world at any time, and I require zero preparation as long as there is a commitment to civility. Shouting insults at me every time I open my mouth, that's unacceptable. Other than that, I will debate anybody under any terms.
One final word, Patrick, from me on this.
Yeah.
Is it possible that you suggest that if you're a global Earth or a flat Earth, could there be a third, fourth, fifth option? And I just
okay. So I say globe Earth or not globe Earth. So there could be infinite options.
That's well, yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at, because some people believe it could be a combination of flat and round, but not in the way that we've been told in the heliocentric model. And I think that's really what you're saying. You're disputing the heliocentric model as a whole.
Absolutely. I don't claim a model of my own. So that's where a lot of flat earthers have a problem, in my opinion. They have this thing called the azimuthal equidistant map, which is also the UN logo. I don't hold with the azimuthal equidistant map. It's also known as the Gleason map. I like the map. It's a nice map. It depicts Antarctica as a 360-degree ice wall that circumscribes the known lands and waters. I don't think that's our world. I don't know it's not our world. But I don't claim a model because I don't want to be constrained to defending a model that I have no way of observing or proving. So when I say that I'm a flat earther, it just means that I deny that we live on a ball and that I do observe that we live on a flat plane. By flat, I mean generally flat, not perfectly flat, because that's not a thing. I mean, if you compare the rise to the run, it is basically flat, with the highest point being Mount Everest at 6 miles, and 6 miles compared to thousands and thousands and thousands of miles in horizontal distance makes it effectively flat. I hope that makes sense. Ooh, man, I want to get feedback on this, y'all, because going back and looking at this, dude, this is a fundamental little glitch in the matrix, how this world works. That real flat earthers could go and be induced to engage in this elaborate of a deception, and they're never going to cop to it. You know, they're caught red-handed, and they're not going to cop. They're not going to cop to it, dude. There is a video of Jaron Campanella 5 months ago making fun of flat earthers with the one and only not a professor shill scumbag Professor Dave. Jaron Campanella has joined the ranks of the most disgusting, retarded, globe earth defending retards in the shill community. That's how big his crash out was after this. I'm not going to show the video because I'll vomit, but I just want everybody to know I'm ready to hear your opinions on this. Email me at pgunnels@gmail.com. Do a comment on this video. Check out my Kick. That's kick.com, kick.com, which is just like Twitch. Go there, comment on that. All the links will be in the description, so check that out. And I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Pat and Jeff Show. I certainly enjoyed doing it. I don't want this to be our last one on this topic. Not flat Earth versus globe Earth, but why did these guys fake it? because I think we're kind of done determining, did they fake it? They did. But why? I don't know. Jeff? Anything else?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. We got to keep asking the questions why. I mean, that's the biggest one that's got to be answered. Why? We know they did, and I need to understand the why. And that's really the purpose of our show, is to try to find the why. By the way, Patrick, I haven't told you this, but I used the Tulip Soothe, right? So
Yeah.
I'm a blessed guy because I don't really have chronic pain, and I don't really, I'm in good shape for my age and all that kind of stuff. And I'm thankful for that. Believe me, I'm not bragging, just thankful. But I jammed my pinky probably over time, and the most distal portion of it, this joint, was starting to hurt. And I was using Tulip Soothe like 3 nights in a row. I put it on, and I put it on at 7, and then my wife and I would decompress and whatever. And then I would do it again, put it on at nighttime when I go to sleep. And 3 days later, I don't have any more pain. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it did, because I don't even know if I would define it as a chronic pain problem. I don't think so. I think it was maybe an acute flare-up potentially. Yeah. But it was amazing how it felt. And now I'm like, I don't do it anymore. I don't need it right now. I might need it again.
Yeah.
But it's all good. So
it lasts such a long time. It's because this Tulip Soothe, and thank you for pointing that out. Tulip Soothe is 20% active ingredients, 15% essential oils, peppermint, wintergreen, Kunzia, which is an analgesic. Wintergreen is methyl salicylate, which is like aspirin. And then I've got the blue tansy for calming. I've got arnica absolute in there. Dude, it's freaking nuts, the stuff I've got in this thing. Camphor, it's a freaking bomb of analgesic ingredients. There's the ginger CO2 extract. It smells medicinal. It's very powerful. Spot treatments only. Do not like rub it all over yourself and then put a bandage over it to try to no. This is like icy hot on steroids. So get that at tulipblooms.shop. It's the Tulip Soothe Balm, and of course Castor Soothe, which is castor blend with the Soothe EO, the essential oils. That's also available right now. Buy one, get one half off. And it has a much lower concentration, not the 20% concentration of actives, more like 5% concentration, but it really works great. And in the same way, it has that numbing effect with the peppermint and the wintergreen and all the other essential oils. Intense stuff for real, no cap. And don't forget promo code Shapiro. Thanks for that, Jeff. Appreciate it. Let me know when you start running low. I'll send you some more.
Sure. No, sounds good. Good.
Right.
Good.
Hey guys.
It goes a long way. It goes a long way.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Man, dude, like right here, you just put just a T. I barely touch it. Put it on my wrist because my wrists just ache. And it just, when it sinks in, it just makes you feel like you've been numbed. Another trick you can do is get some DMSO and put the DMSO on and then put the Tulip Soothe. But I won't actually put DMSO in my Tulip Soothe because that turns it into a freaking nuclear weapon, if nukes weren't fake, Anyway, hey, everybody, thank you so much for watching. We do this right after D class on Saturday nights, and we're just glad to have everybody here. And tomorrow night on Sunday, I believe it'll be around 8 p.m. Eastern, Breaking the System, our new show, Dave News Treason, and I and the brilliant Eric Carlson will be doing a show every other Sunday on breaking the financial system and what's coming next in the world of finance. And we've recorded the show already, and it was freaking fire. So check it out every other Sunday, starting this upcoming Sunday, February 23rd. Wait, is that a 23rd? No. Sunday, the 22nd. There we go. Anyway, check that out, 8 p.m. Eastern on the Dave News Treason channel. Jeff, thank you so much, my friend. And we will see you all next Saturday. Bye, guys.